I've been working on a drill press that I got like 2 years ago, and that was before we moved the house, or moved houses. So it's been half finished for a long time. I had taken it to my dad's, well, my father-in-law's, to sandblast it, and I've been repainting it. So here's its current state. It's in parts. This is just some of the parts. There's like the main cover. It's a Delta variable speed drill press, so you can adjust the crank, and it has a set of conical pulleys that you adjust, and this is the dry belt. I got it for $140 in fixed up good condition. They're worth like $750, but I really needed torn apart and fixed up. So I guess in this video I'm going to show how I came up with a way to sand and polish the post. You know, this is one of the collars that would go on the post. So let's go do that. So here I have it set up on my workbench. I have some casters here that were just drilled into a block. They just press in. They're like old furniture casters. And then here's the tube. And here's another block, and these blocks are clamped to the workbench. One here, one down there with a C-clamp. And then here's my drive here. Looks like it's a little bit twisted. Here, that looks better. And my drive connection I have here taped on is an oil filter socket, I guess you could call it, with a 1/4-inch drive in my drill. And the drill's in low speed. So I'm doing this because I don't have a lathe big enough for this. The lathe I do have is real tiny. It's over here. It's a little Shoreline. So there's no way in heck that would fit. Yay, monetized. So now I'm going to switch over to my head camera and try to finish this. So for speed control, I have a clamp that goes on here. Let me, my dehumidifier's on. Let me turn it off. There, that's better. So there's the fan too. There we go. Okay, I have lubricant, which is just WD-40, and I have sandpaper. This is 150. This is 100 if the 150 is not good enough, and then I have Scotch-Brite to finish it off. So I suppose first I'll try a little section here. There are sections that are nice, and then sections that are somewhat pitted and corroded, but it's not very bad. So I'm going to try doing this. So two things. First, I can smell that these rollers are getting warm, so I need to put a little bit of, well, I'll just use WD-40 on them. And let's check our progress here. I have a rag. I have a filthy rag here that I can use. This one's clean for my hands. This one's filthy. Oh yeah, look at that. So compare. We have this, which is rusty, and this, which is now polished up better and smooth. I did notice when I was doing it right here, there is a a tiny nick blemish, so I might need to run a file across that just to smooth it out. But this really looks like it's working well. I need to do this section a little bit more. I can see some remnants of pitting there. So let's turn this sucker back on. And since I added some WD-40 to the rollers, it's a lot quieter now. Well, something happened there. And my drill does have an overspeed, or an over torque restrictor. I'm not sure that that's going to keep working with that tape. Let's see how it looks, and I might need to flip it around and put this drive coupler on the other end. So we can see it's still quite pitted and rusty down here, and this section's looking really good, except for up here at the top. So I'm going to have to keep going in the way it is, and I'm going to put a band clamp around here. I have this oriented so that when it's running, the tab that's sticking out isn't going to catch on me and rip a finger off or anything, or slice it open. But I'm going to put some tape around it anyways, just to keep it contained. The way this is held from axially shifting on the wheels, in this direction, is when I spun it on the wheels, they naturally wanted to push the shaft this way. So I have the drill against this board here, and that stops it from shifting. A little tape on it to make it safer. As much as this is a non-safe thing to do anyways. I wish this had a neutral. Okay, that would do. you crooked. Something's crooked here. Yeah, that looks okay. Oh, that's what it is. When I put this band clamp on, it wasn't over all of the pause of the filter clamp, or the filter socket. See, right there. That's why it's running crooked. All three, that's okay. That's in there. Good. There we are. That's good now. In doing this, it seems like I don't know. I think I need to go with a coarser paper. Like this is 100. So I'm going to go with this. Well, that came out. I don't know why. Maybe I was just pulling one way when it was going. Something smart to do also is if your drill has this, when you're doing it, put it in the screw mode so that if you over torque it, then it's not gonna, well, it apply the brakes, but when you over torque it, it's not gonna hurt you or it. I'm going to try some Scotch-Brite. I think we might get into these pores better and clean them better. Yeah, there's some deeper pitting that this isn't getting, so I'm going to have to do something else. Let me get some simple green to get this off and show you what it looks like. Okay, so in here it's getting a really nice crosshatch pattern. It's going that way and that way. But further down here you see it's still, well, at least on the top, I haven't cleaned the bottom. It's still got pitting, so I'm going to try some evapor rust on this. Okay, well, I don't have evapor rust, but I have this stuff, which I assume is the same stuff. And apparently I've never used it. Now, normally this should be in like a bath, but I'm just going to brush it on. I think it works both ways. And I wonder if you could thicken this with some like cornstarch or something to make it a paste. Well, let's turn it on to apply this, that'll be easier. I realize this section didn't have any, but I'm just doing the whole thing anyways. One thing I've noticed is that that drill only checks the RPM once per revolution. So if you're running at a slow speed, it doesn't compensate fast enough when you're running slow. So that's kind of why it's varying its speed a lot. Alright, I'm going to go over and do another coat, maybe a few more coats actually. Okay, well, here it is. I think this is as good as it's going to get. This stuff wasn't doing a whole lot, so I went at it with 60 grit, and it still has a little bit of pitting here. But, you know, it's a used tool. It's 30 years old. It's not going to be perfect. There's a little bit of scuffing here from the wheels, but that's going to be inside the base there. And then this scuffing up here is going to be up inside the head of the drill press, so you're never going to see that either. And I'm not going to worry about this being corroded still, because that's also up in the head. I might clean a little bit of it off. So that's how you make a workbench finishing lathe.